And there you go. Okay. So if you tell us, we can give you some insight as to perhaps who, what, when, where, or why.
Not yet.
All right. Well, you make your call in an election, sure.
I know.
Yeah, you might. Oh, live.
Welcome back. You're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRBmedia,
The voice of the community.
I am Dr. Bizness.
That one was tired. What happened?
That wasn't a tired one.
Yes,
That was my waking up one.
That was the tired one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well.
And I am, as always, your one and only Lady Guns. That's greatness under no stipulation.
Family, we are so excited that you stay tuned in.
Thank
if you're
you.
just tuning in,
welcome.
We've been talking about commitment. During the break, our producer was talking about her commitment issues and how she wants to move forward. And pop the question. I don't know if
she
that's
didn't.
Well, I gotta elaborate for the people. It makes
You
for
got
better.
a lot for the people.
It makes for better whatever. And you know, she said
Fact check. She
said
didn't say
she
that.
want to get married tomorrow,
No, she
and that she
didn't.
want 10 babies by him.
I can
and
tell you
that,
she didn't.
But don't. Can I let the ratings go up, please? She want 10 babies.
With lies?
And it's not speaking those things that are not as though they were.
I can promise you she don't want 10.
If you are in your
I don't even want her to have.
watch
You
out
don't
for
want her to
lightning,
have-
okay?
I don't even want her. She
Get
said,
away
watch
from
out
the
for
windows.
lightning.
Get away from the windows and the doors.
First of all, I ain't finna do that many baby showers, so I'm gonna need you to regulate your baby bringing according to my budget. And
Nah, you just like get like 10 little gifts from the dollar store for each one, and you just bring it all at one time for the first baby and call it a day.
really,
Yeah, just tell them to ration it out over the next 10 years.
that so sounds like my family.
Can't
sounds
break in
like-
my bank just because you want to be all willy-nilly with your stuff.
Like, you so cute. I'm like, did we all have the same outfit in the picture? Baby, that was called hand-me-downs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Here you go.
Everybody's school picture got on the little white collar Winnie the Pooh green and brown dress.
Just don't bring the hand-me-down.
It was a little green, black, and brown. It had a white collar, had Winnie the Pooh right there on it. Girl, we was kids. It was kindergarten. It wasn't high school. Sitting with a sailor collar
I know.
on.
She was like, hey,
We were good.
that's a recipe for bullying. If she's wearing this, that's
Right.
like putting bully on your forehead. Bully me,
Bully
please.
me, please. By all means.
Because
Point
sometimes
out
people
all
just
my
bring it on
insecurities.
themselves.
Oh,
and
they do.
I understand that. Yeah, it
Like,
ain't
you
your
didn't
fault
think
and you're
no
the
one was
victim,
going to say
but
anything.
It's like that person that got the mini skirt on and the boobs
Hanging out. and stuff.
2 o'clock in the morning, dark alley. Yeah, it ain't your fault. I understand. You the victim.
Your
I
car
know
broke
this.
down, and it was a quicker route through the alley.
No, the car didn't break down. They just wanted to see and experiment. Who lives in the alley at 2 o'clock in the morning?
they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they
And then
don't.
they butt get caught up, and then literally, and then they want to, why did it happen to me? But your butt, you purposely. Then with no car breakdown.
Because you were there?
There were 10
'Cause you were
different
there.
ways you could have gone with the street lights.
You were there.
You went down that 11th Street that had all the
Wait,
street
how
lights
you
were
didn't
busted.
know it was 11th
And
Street.
Roscoe
and no
was
street
on the
lights.
street corner
Is your
with
sign
his
name
boys,
Roscoe?
and you walking down saying, "Hey, I'm going down
So,
here."
First of all, that wasn't no accident. That's employment.
But then when things go south, you want to blame the world.
That's called job hazard.
Yeah, okay, job hazard pay.
Yeah, no, you don't get paid for it.
You don't get paid for it. I thought you were supposed to. Ain't that what?
If it's a hazard, then you probably didn't get paid what you
Oh.
were expecting. You paid for it,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't get paid for it. That's the way you
Okay.
work that.
Well, let the people marinate on that.
Yeah.
But they were committed
Write it
to
down
going down
and reread
that
it.
alley at 2
Right.
o'clock in the morning that they had no business going down with their skirt up over their head.
Really? First of all, this is a let's go a different direction. Why, whenever you have scenarios, it's always a ratchet woman? Like, why can't it ever be? You know, you walk out with your pants hanging down and your fruity balloon showing, and you know, why
ain't nothing happened?
Really?
Nothing
why
happens
won't
in that
you
scenario.
Ever find a scenario for a guy? Ooh. Wherever you are, pause for 30 seconds and turn to the news. I promise you'll find somebody with their pants hanging down.
I promise you will. But nothing happened to him where he had to go to the police department and file some paperwork because he had his pants down by his knees and he was taken advantage of.
No, what I'm
talking
saying,
about women
I'm not talking about
who claim to be taken advantage of.
I'm talking about why. The whole point is those that make claims. Why does it always have to be a female with you? Why can't you ever just bust out a rerun story or
go down to the police department? The police department has a whole
Why don't you ever use those? Why it's always got to be the woman?
Because she the one filing the claim. That's
Every
why
time we talk about claims, it's
she
about
the one.
females.
Because she the one filing it.
Well, talk about
she
it. She
want the babies, so she filing the claim. Hey, look at the percentages. How many men are down at the courts filing the claim? I want my children full time to take care of them. There are. But look at the percentages. I operate under percentages.
What I'm saying, I'm not talking about that.
Say the women are filing the claims.
No.
The women are complaining.
I'm
the
not
women
talking
are
about
saying,
that.
how come this and why not that?
Wait, I'm not talking about that.
What you talking about?
Anytime we bring a hypothetical scenario into anything, we can be talking about anything hypothetically. Your hypotheticals are always females.
That's because that's the perspective and the lens that I look through.
Because you're always looking at women?
No.
And their faults and failures? I'm trying to point out that you're the alpha?
Investigative reporting to bring back to my people on the Profit and Growth Hour because we need to educate and be able to empower. I'm
going to start bringing out hypothetical scenarios on men. Okay, don't worry. Keep your women.
You do that.
Keep your women.
Yin and yang, right? Black and white, right?
You're not white.
You the white one, I know.
Whenever he does like a scenario, it's always about women. So I'll do one about men.
Okay, well, you come up with your men scenarios.
I don't even remember why we started a scenario. I just noticed that you put some
people are
poor
committed to doing
in
wrong.
an alley.
People are committed to doing wrong. People are committed to backsliding.
People are not committed to doing wrong.
They are committed to it.
You can't say that people.
I can't say people.
Not all people.
Not all, but the majority.
Because you counted?
Yes. More than 50%. That's how Trump got into office. Committed to doing wrong.
Doctor, your stats are wrong.
They are not wrong.
Thank you.
Wrong-o.
They are not.
Thank you.
Look at the statistics.
No.
Each and every year, the poverty rate is increasing, not decreasing. Each and every year, the abortion rate is increasing, not decreasing. Every single year, the divorce rate is increasing, not decreasing. So all of the registers, for the most part, that people do all of these statistical analyses on is going in the wrong direction. We're not getting better as a people. We're not getting better as a country. We're not getting better spiritually. We're getting worse. We're going to hell in a handbasket.
Your presidential nominee.
Withdrawals
2020.
On fire.
Right
I'm
now.
just saying. Our country is getting worse. The ozone layer, the environment, the crime rate, all the educational statistics. They're building more prisons today than they've ever built because the educational system is failing our children because we're going in the wrong direction. We're not getting smarter. We're getting dumber. We're getting more lethargic. We're getting more lazy. Our thumbs are doing all the work, not our brains, our thumbs, because we're texting and Xboxing and PlayStationing and doing all those things that we ought pick up a book and read it.
They don't
Literacy rate increasing.
So, hypothetically speaking, what should we do? Should we take away
There's no taking anything away.
Some of the not technology.
There's no taking anything away. Once it's been given, it won't be taken away. I agree with what Dr. Bizness says, but I also believe that I think that reform and change has to happen in the media, because there are good things happening, but it is not being highlighted. Those statistics are being taken to look for the worst, not to look for the better. Those things, because statistics create problems to solve. But they create problems to solve. That's why they take the statistics. Where are we weak at so that we can solve a problem? The only problem is they're finding the breach in the system. They're finding the weak areas, but they're capitalizing on them. They're not increasing and improving or doing anything any better with them.
They've done that since the biblical days. They target the poor, the needy. They've done that since the biblical days.
Well, but then there's a system that's created that
yes
supports
and no, because, for example, you have your Habitat for Humanities out there.
True.
Statistics show that people are unable to, whatever, homelessness rates are increasing. So because of those statistics, they're now able to get grants and donations from Fortune 500 corporations or wherever they get their money from,
Problem solving
in
through
order to
statistics.
try to build homes to turn people into homeowners. So that's problem solving through statistics. That's not manipulation. That's not, ooh, we trying to take advantage. Ooh, we trying to get over on people. No, the statistics show homelessness is increasing. Let's make people some homeowners.
Right.
You know, your programs, your home buying programs,
Right,
that are
right.
nonprofit, that teach people about
NACAs
finance, the NACAs of the world, teach people about finances and budgeting and paying your bills on time and living within your means.
Right.
Those programs were created because statistics said, from a financial literacy perspective, we're losing ground. Therefore, we need to create solutions systems that don't cost the people money
To make
but is
money, to
funded.
save money, to build money.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I agree with the statistics, and
Right.
yeah, there are those out there that manipulate and cheat and steal, and those people will always exist. But those statistics are vital because it lets us know where we are, so that we can determine where we're going.
Absolutely.
But we have to do it as a family. We have to do it as a team. We have to work together. We got to pray together. We got to bring Christ back into the center. We have to be able to be in a position to be our brother's keeper, not just rely on government, but rely on ourselves,
Exactly.
self-sufficiency. Bring the family unit back together.
Exactly.
We took care of ourselves. Not the government. Somebody had a shortfall. Somebody needed a couple extra dollars. You went to the
came on
family
over.
member.
Right.
And we all put the money in the bucket.
Right.
And we took care of, and if that didn't solve it, guess what? You just move on in with me temporarily. Save up your money. Don't pay any rent or whatever.
Right.
Get yourself back on your feet and then go back out there into the big bad world.
Sister Jones' husband died. Then the church sisters got together, cooked some food,
Exactly.
and brought it
Cooked
to
some
the
food, brought
house.
it-
And
Exactly.
you know, they gave her eldest son a paper route and different things like that.
We employed
Right.
each other, you know.
Right.
In my ministry, we would stand the unemployed people up.
Right.
These people are unemployed. Come to the front.
Absolutely.
Bring your resume Sunday type
Right,
thing.
absolutely.
Because there are people in the congregation that are employers.
Absolutely.
Can I
That are
you
looking
also-
to employ people.
Do you
Right.
think this is true? If you had to consider the statistics with African Americans and
Non-African
Latinos,
Americans.
with just those two groups,
Latinos, Hispanics.
Latinas.
Hispanics, yes.
Okay.
The reason I'm going to ask this question is because I've been in a conversation with it, and the person made mention and said the black family is being robbed of jobs and this and that and the other because of mass incarceration, and it appears that more Latinos, Hispanics are getting hired for jobs and stuff like that. So it makes the black woman sort of step up, which the black woman was always strong anyway. But
You're gonna say,
do you
watch your
think
mouth.
that is
See the camera tell me because somebody,
Exactly.
Maria come and bust you outside your head.
so
Camera
in
be
this-
wobbling.
Right.
What
in
happened?
this modern time now, do you think that is true?
I don't think. I would more categorize it this way. We only know what we're allowed to see statistically. We only know what the media, again, produces, what it promotes, what it shows. I believe that in both cultures, that there is probably more unity now, thanks to this presidential administration that we have. I think that they've bonded together because they both feel the weight of segregation and racism and other issues that causes intentional divide. Our country is now being intentionally and purposefully divided by governmental leadership. It is a focus. It is a mission that's driven. And whether you say we're all Americans, we may be in America, but you're definitely defining who is the American, who is not, by the treatment that's there. What I think we are not getting to see are the positive Hispanics and African Americans and Asians and Indians and other foreigners. The U.S. is, I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm going to say that it's at least 70% foreign and maybe 30% all-American. I believe this entire United States is built on the fabric and cloth of an international culture that has conformed to an American culture, but it is not just Americans. And if there was ever an opportunity or a voice that could speak out to unite them, we really would carry the weight. So the lack of interest, education, and opportunity to understand a system that incarcerates, a system that is designed to keep others down, a system that rewards the rich and punishes the poor, because there's no real, it's not sexy. I'm gonna use that. It's not sexy. Rap is sexy, hip hop sexy, movie stars, all of that is something that people dive in and creates trends. It creates culture. It creates, the new happening thing. This is what's hot. Oh, all of that stuff is there. But if we were ever to really focus as an international people in the United States, I believe that we would have enough to really change the trajectory of our country. I really believe that there's so many more of us. So many, and I'm not talking about those that are just want to be a part of a movement, but I'm talking about those that are educated to make the movement happen. Those that have a hard and loud voice in multiple languages. And I've not seen that. And it scares me that as strong as we are, and as numerous as we are, we have not been able to band together to make that happen. We have not been able to band together to bring about change.
Statistically, systematically, the system has been designed to set us up for failure. You have your Willie Lynch letters that talk about how slavery did a disservice, and 400 years later, we're still seeing the effects of not knowing who we are, not knowing our language, not knowing our lineage, who is in our DNA, who's our family, my last name. That was the plantation owner's last name.
You became
that's
whoever
not
that was.
Culture. That's not my heritage. That's not where I came from. That was just the plantation I belonged to.
Right.
But then I carry that name even to today, and that has psychological, subconscious impact on the minds of individuals.
Right.
So when you're ripped from a country and you're forced to not speak your language, you're forced to be told that you're Toby and not, your real, your given name, type of thing. When your people are raped, when your children are taken away from you, that has a lasting psychological effect that for generations to come, unless there is a healing balm from Gilead, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
It's just not. There has to be something that is supposed to unify us all.
That's what I'm talking
so
about.
So instead of focusing on the differences, we need to focus on the similarities. We need to focus on the things that we do have
That's
in
what
common.
I'm talking about.
But that right there is a hard road to travel.
And it's the road less traveled. And, just to clarify, not saying that, your last statement is that we are still I am who I am because I was a slave or whatever. Because slave carries on not in the name of who my great grandfather's plantation owner was, but now where I work, what I do. Where I work defines and stipulates who I have to be. When I worked at the Pentagon, I couldn't have the bright red hair, and there was a certain look that was expected. There was a certain
part of the culture
that was
Right.
expected. When I see people out in grocery stores shopping and they've got tattoos all over their face, I automatically just sum up the different places where they will probably only be able to work, unless they use that heavy artist makeup. This is probably, I may not see them on the other side of the counter of Wells Fargo. Not because they're not great mathematicians or accountants or good with money or don't have a police record. They just don't fit the culture. So although we don't carry slave master's last name, we carry the culture of where we are and what we do. And that culture is also determined by our environment. I may not be hood, I may not be ghetto, but if you move me into one and that's the only place I'm allowed to, slowly and stealthily, because I'm being removed from my international roots, I'm going to conform to this environment because I'm only going to be able to buy the clothes that are there, and they may all be representative, right? They may all be representative of the place that I'm in.
However, the caveat to that, today we have a choice. So I don't have to move into the community that only sells dashikis. Therefore, I now have to conform to that culture.
Right.
Now, if I choose to move into that community, then I need to do what that community does. Just like religion. I can be any religion I want
Catholic
to
or
be.
Muslim or
So
Christian
if I decide to be a specific religious sect, then I need to conform with the traditions of that particular thing. So if you choose to want to work for government or the Pentagon, then that comes with, you can't I want red hair and work for the Pentagon type of thing. Well, not because there are redheads that do that. But,
yes,
but you can't say.
But your position is
I'm
going
gonna put
to be
tattoos. Although I'm gonna choose. Ain't nobody held you down, strapped you down, and put tattoos on your face. So if that's the case, that's a different story. But if you voluntarily sat
there, to get Guns and Roses on your cheek and a cross, and
now you want to get mad at the man because he don't want to hire you. Well, that should have all been taken into consideration
when you sat down
in the chair and gave your money for them to jack up your face.
Absolutely.
Because ain't now one person today that I've spoken to, and I've taken my own personal survey because I got children and things of that nature, and I don't have any tattoos. So I'm like, okay, so is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Why'd you get tattoos? Things of that. Everybody that I've spoken to had some sort of heartburn, some sort of pain with regards to either a tattoo or all the tattoos that they have. And if they had to do it again, which is the question that I asked, would you? And their response every single time was, nah, I wouldn't have done that one, or nah, I wouldn't have done it at all, or nah,
I wouldn't
to
put
the
it
extent,
there.
or
Exactly.
There's always some sort of regret, remorse, or something with respect to that.
Right.
But we got a long road to travel.
Right.
When it comes to bringing about healing and peace and love and forgiveness, which is really what we need in order to heal this world. But as we always say, we ain't gonna end world hunger on this microphone. We ain't gonna bring about world peace on this microphone. But hopefully there's somebody listening that's in a power position that has a boatload of money, that has the authority and the connects to start putting things in motion to heal our land.
Absolutely.
Family, you're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media,
the voice of the community.
24.
I'm saying,